They're just to get a good review in with number 6, okay? Do y'all remember the first step? Subtract what? Good. Subtract 22. So it'd be x squared plus 8x plus, yes, equals negative 22 plus, good. Now what? Which is, oh, you're thinking of vertex. Different. Nope, just b over 2. Which is squared. What goes in the box? Good. What now? Let's fix this side first. How is this going to be as a binomial? Plus 4. Good. It's always going to be half of this. So before you square it, that's the number that goes here. What's on this side? Negative 6. Negative 6, negative 8, negative 4. What is it?
Negative 6.
Okay. Now what? Square root what? Both sides? Alright, what am I going to get on the left side when I take the square root?
X plus 4.
Good, just x plus 4. I'm going to come back and write it up here because I wrote a little big. What about square root of negative 6?
Negative 6i.
You can take the I out because of that negative, right? So plus or minus I. What about square root of 6?
6.
So square root of 6 is 6. No. We can't do 3 root 2 because that indicates that you picked 9 to go in here. Are there any perfect squares that go in here? Nope. So we just leave it as what? Root 6. Very good. And now we just need to get x by itself, so we need to move the what? 4 by doing what? Alright, can I subtract a real and imaginary number? I'll get it in a minute. You don't have to simplify, you just write it like you see it, but you need to write your real number first. What's your real number? Negative 4. What comes next? Plus or minus first. Then what? That's it. Is x by itself? Then we're done. So sometimes you'll have ugly answers. Any questions about that one?
How would you plug that back into the problem?
You'll have to have a calculator that has the I function, and you would just type it in as this in parentheses squared plus 8 times this in parentheses plus 22. You want me to show you?
You can't do it by hand?
You could. It'd just take a really long time because you would have to take this, fold it out because of the squared, distribute the 8 to all of this, combine all that like terms with 22.
Yeah, calculator's up there.
Yeah. Alright. Also, if you wanted to, you could graph this in your calculator. Because it's imaginary answer, it won't touch the x-axis. Any questions about that one? Flip it over. We're going to do just one more together, then you're going to do 2 of these on your own. So, out of 7, 9, and 11, any specific ones you want to do together? 9 and just 9? Okay. Alright, first step. Sweep. So on this side it'll be good. Next.
6
Which is
3.
square.
9.
What goes in the box?
9. Wait, why are you using plus 6? X.
Right here? Oh. I don't know. I made a boo-boo. Thank you.
Still 9.
Yes, still 9, but that's going to change our binomial if I had a plus. Alright, this into a binomial squared would be what?
X plus, no, x minus
Good. Squared equals. Good. Everybody know where I got the negative 3 from? It's just half of b.
Would that be 4i or I?
4i. Gotta put the real number first. So now take the square root of both sides. What's the square root of this? Square root of this. 4 plus or minus 4i. Good. Next.
Plus 3.
Yeah, add 3 to both sides. Tell me my final answer.
3 plus or minus 4, 5.
Perfect. Questions?
Why'd you use 9? Why'd you use 3?
Wait, one at a time. Go ahead.
Why'd you use 3 instead of 9? Did you go ahead and square root?
This one?
Yeah.
You always put half of b right here.
Oh, okay.
The 9 is what you add to each spot.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that's why you get combine those 3 and 4.
Because one's real, one's imaginary. Kind of like x and y, how you can't combine them because they're different letters. These are different types of numbers, so we can't combine them. Any other questions? All right, you are trying 7 and 11. 7 and 11 on your own. Seven, you'll have pretty answers. 11, they're pretty ugly. second? Nothing? From here, you turn this to a binomial square, and then just add these. Alright, let's talk about this first one. I see a lot of y'all making the same mistakes. We don't want decimals on these. Do y'all remember me telling y'all that Thursday? Do y'all remember why? It messes it up because you'll have to round, right? Because you'll get decimals that are like 2.56254, and then you'll round it, and then it'll mess up your whole entire answer, okay? So y'all are going to have to become friends with fractions. Most of y'all's calculators have a fraction button in it, and I can show you where that is. But let's just tackle it head on, and I'll show you some shortcuts, okay? First thing we did here was what, Angel? Add 6. Alright, so 6 plus blank. Alright, David, what's our b in this one? We have to divide that by what? So 1 divided by 2 is just 1/2. Don't change that to a decimal, okay? When I square this, squaring fractions is easy. You just square the top. So 1 squared is what? And square the bottom, which is what? Alright, what goes in the box? 1/4. Good. Alright, this as a binomial squared will be what? 1, not 1/4. 1/2. It's going to be half of b, which is 1/2. There's 2 ways you can add fractions, okay? The first thing we could do is write 6 and 1/4, right? That's what this is, 6 and 1/4. Now change it to an improper fraction. Y'all remember how to do that? You do 6 times what? 4, which is what? Plus 1. Good. Everybody remember how to do that? I know it's been a while. Or you could change this, make it 6 over 1, and find a common denominator. What's the common denominator between these? 4. This one already has 4, right? If I change this denominator to 4, that means I had to multiply this 1 by what? So 6 times 4? 1 plus 24? 25 over 4. You can do it either way. Everybody see that? Alright, put equals 25 over 4. And this is why you need to leave it as fractions. Everybody see why this is a nice fraction? They're both what? Perfect squares. That's why it's nice to leave it as a fraction, so you won't get some crazy decimal. Alright, Michael, what do we do from this point? Of what?
X plus 1/2 squared, which is x plus 1/2.
And take the square root also of what?
25 over 4.
Alright, and then taking the square root of fractions, what's the square root of 25? Square root of 4? And remember I told y'all, if y'all don't have the same denominator here, you did something wrong. That's just one case though. What's my other case?
X plus 1/2 equals
Very good. You just changed the sign. That's your second case. Don't grab your calculators. Let's do this in our head. And I have to move this 1/2 over by doing what? Okay, so what is 5 minus 1? No. 5 minus 1? 4. 4 divided by 2? Good. Let's do it here in our head. What's negative 5 minus 1? Negative 6 divided by 2? Very good. Questions about that? Bless you. We need to do one more with fractions together.
Did you go to number 11?
Yeah, that's the one. It has fractions. We're going to tackle them head on. That means I'm going to call on y'all. Summer. First step. So plus blank equals what on this side? Good. Alright, Malachi. What next?
3/2.
Good. You're dividing 3 over 2. Leave it as a fraction. Then we have to do what with that? Alright, so Elena, tell me what the top would be if I square it.
6.
Try one more time.
9.
Good. You were thinking 3 times 2. And what's the bottom square? 4. Good. What goes in the box? 9 over 4. Good. Alright, Ariana, what would this be as a binomial square? Very good. Alright, I'll give y'all the option. You want to make this a mixed fraction, change it to improper, or you want to find a common denominator? Okay. So we got, I'll do both ways. -6 and 9/4. Oops, sorry. Let me move it over. Ignore the negative. 6 times 4. 24. Ignore the negative. What's 24 plus 9?
33.
So we got -33 over 4. Good. Everybody see how I got that? You just ignore the negative. This is 6 times 4 is 24, plus 9 is 33, and 4, and then we bring the negative, okay? Questions about that part? Alright, what next? Square root. What will we get on this side? Alright, now we got this ugly thing right here. What can we take the square root of? 4. What's going to be on bottom? Alright, can we do anything with that top? We can take what out? Ah, good. And then leave what?
33.
And how come I know we can leave it like that? Good, no more perfect squares in it, right? Alright, Emily, what will we do from here? Perfect. Alright, what's my real number? Good, -3 over 2. Just write -3. What's your real imaginary number? I root 33. All of it can go over what? 2. And why? Because they both have a denominator of what? 2. Questions? We're going to do one more. But the rest of them are different. Why? They have a number in front. So there's only one step difference than the ones we've been doing. Only one. Flip it over. Are any questions on this one before I flip it over? We'll start with number 4. The only difference between this and what we've been doing is we have to make this 1 first. Okay, how would I change this to 1? Divide everything by that leading number, 2. Go ahead and do that. And we cannot escape the fractions. They're going to be there, so we've got to get used to them. Tell me how to write this. It'd be x squared, what? Good. Plus, let's put plus box. And move that 5 over 2 over. So it's going to be what? Good. Everybody with me? Where's your notes at? You weren't here Thursday? Yeah, this is from Thursday. Okie dokie. Same steps. What do we do here? Yeah, find half of b. Okay, and here's the easy thing with fractions. -7 over 2 divided by 2. When you half a fraction, it's just doubling the bottom. Say that with me. When you're halving fraction, it's doubling the what? Bottom. Okay, it's not changing the top. And what was the top? What's the bottom going to be?
4.
Good. See, I don't need calculators. If y'all do anything in my class, if you learn anything, I want you to be comfortable with fractions. Okay? We're going to work on that. I know. We have to do what with this? Square it. What's the top going to be? Bottom? Very good. What goes in the box? 49 over 16. Very good. Alright, I'm going to come over on my paper over here. Alright, this says a binomial squared will be what? X minus 7 over 2 squared. We have to add these. This time we can't do the improper fraction thing. We have to find a what? Common denominator, which will be what? 16. Good. So do I need to change this one? I need to change this one to a 16, which means I'll have to multiply that 2 by what? So what's the top multiplied by 8? Good. Does the bottom change? Nope. What's the top going to be? 9. Alright, so we're right here. And 9 over 16 is really pretty. Why? Good. I'm going to come on my whiteboard because I just write too big. So here's where we were at. X minus 7 over 2 squared equals 9 over 16. What do we do next? Square root. Square root. Oh, this is supposed to be what right here? Thank you. Is that what you're trying to say? Oh, thanks. Okay, so after we take the square root of both sides, this will be equals 3 over 4, or x minus 7 over 4 equals negative 3 over 4. Almost done. Let's do it in our heads, okay? We have to add this over, right? The bottom will stay 4. The top becomes what? 10. Simplify it for me. 5 over what? Good. Over here, the top is going to change. The bottom stays 4. What's 7 minus 3? Answer? Good. Alright, questions about completing the square? I know we don't have time, but do you feel like you could do one on your own? Like this?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to practice some tomorrow again, but tomorrow's the last day we'll spend on this chapter, okay? Y'all can pack up, and I'm going to pass out your test.